Welcome back to this very special chat with the Chief Economic Advisor, Dr. Anantha Nageswaran. Dr. Nageswaran, thank you very much for your patience. Now, of course, for the big thing that we've got, getting into the JPM bond index, which, even if there is any problem of US yields impacting our exchange rate, we have this, counter. What's your sense? Is this going to make a big difference to cost of capital for us in FY25?
It's very speculative. You see, one of the things we kind of assume implicitly is that everything else remains constant. Yes, then if that is the case, then this index inclusion alone on balance should be positive for bond prices.
It's like 28-30 billion.
Or yields. But then a lot of things will keep changing. So whether this effect is drowned out by other effects or not will determine the eventual impact on bond yields. So I think, again, at the moment, it is too hypothetical.
As Moody said, this also means that we will be more under the scrutiny of global funds. You think that is a worry? I mean, our fiscal and monetary policy has to be more...
How much more is a matter of debate, speculation, but the fact is India had already opened its bond market to foreign investors through the fully accessible route, and they were looking at the Indian market. And whether this leads to an incrementally higher level of scrutiny or not, it's a matter of speculation. I think
you don't worry that it could be. If I remember right, somebody from RBI had even once said that we shouldn't go overboard with too many FAR securities.
I think the point is whether, I think these are two separate questions. I think the question was whether there would be a greater scrutiny or not. I think that maybe at the margin, maybe there is, there will be, but I don't think it's an order of magnitude that we should be concerned about. Yeah.
Okay. And finally, this LRS issue. The fact that we now we have toned down the amount of controls on credit card spend, but even then that TCS, tax collection at source, of 20% on foreign trips. What is the signal on that? I mean, we are comfortable in foreign exchange reserves.
No, I think there is no question of discomfort or stress in the foreign exchange situation, but it is a matter whereby I think certain, and we already had this provision with respect to debit cards. So it's a question of treating both of them in the same manner. And so there cannot be a sort of a difference in treatment between debit card spend and credit card spend. And also, I mean, it shouldn't become a sort of an illegal conduit for capital outflows.
But the 5% TCS was doing that job.
Right.
Now making it 20%, I only get a salary income. And it's only lately in the evening of my life that I can travel abroad.
I think over time, the technological solutions will come such that the TCS and the TDS will be integrated such that you don't feel that this is something over and above what you would be paying, so that it shouldn't matter to you. I think that will be a matter of time before the technological intervention takes care of that concern.
So the trigger for this was to stop illegal people who are evaders?
The trigger for that was, I think the LRS scheme was probably getting abused. I think, of course, for more authoritative information, you should probably speak to the Revenue Secretary about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's just that you wanted to prevent abuse. Okay, and the final question, so I think I've taken more time than you promised. 6.5% is good, but we ourselves in the first decade of the 2000s were at 8%. And countries with a demographic dividend like Russia, like China in the 90s were at double digits growth. Do you think we are getting a little complicit with 6.5%?
Nobody is getting complacent about 6.5%. Nobody is saying that 6.5% is the maximum.
I don't hear a better number.
No. I think that is because it's one has to be realistic. It is better to under-promise or under-expect and over-deliver rather than over-promise and under-deliver, because the global context has changed. I mean, the decade of the 2020s to 2030 isn't the same as 2000 to 2010. When the global economy itself was firing on all cylinders and geopolitical situation was not at all as fractious as it is, and globalization was still in its heydays, and supply chain integration, efficiencies, all those factors. And I think if you remember, in the first decade, export growth was a very big contributor, 1.5% percentage points every year. So I think 6.5% is not a sign of complacency, it's a sign of realism under the circumstances. And we have also said, even in the economic survey, that if we are able to continue with our domestic reform agenda at the state level, at the local level, and the union government level, then I think when global conditions turn propitious, this 6.5 can go to 7 or 7.5%. But right now, I think to be able to consistently deliver 6.5% real and between 11 and 12 nominal would be a very good achievement under the context in which the world is operating today.
Okay. Just a word for the debt markets. Reserve Bank has said that they will do open market sales. Clearly, they want to keep liquidity tight. Do you hope at least, can you reassure them that fiscal deficit will not go over, the government will not borrow more than promised?
From all the indications that I have, I think our fiscal deficit is on target.
Yeah, at the moment, yes. Yeah. But will it remain that way?
Yeah, that's what I said. It looks like, I think, the fiscal deficit trend for the rest of the year appears to be on target to meet our budgeted number of 5.9%.
You're okay with the RBI tightening liquidity?
I have no comments on RBI, yeah.
Thank you very much for spending time with CNBC-TV18 and the reassurance that tax buoyancy is good and economic growth should keep to the 6.5% mark. Thank you very much for joining us.